Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, and much respect to the brothers pushing his word in the four corners of the globe. This is Brother Ariel coming at you with another lesson. And this lesson is just simply going to be about Revelation chapter 9. Okay? And I'm going to try to get through it as fast as I can. It's 21 verses. Okay? And this happens to be one of my favorite chapters in a book because it goes into all three world wars. Okay? So, first verse. And the fifth angel sounded and saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. Right? And we all know the bottomless pit is Europe. Okay? It's called the bottomless pit because the soil there isn't that fertile, man. All right? So, verse 2, and he opened the bottomless pit, and there arose a smoke out of the pit, as the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and the air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit. Okay? And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and unto them was given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. Right? And those locusts is basically a battle that John saw during World War I. Okay? And those were like the planes from World War I, man, the dog fighters. Basically, they were called dog fighters, okay? The planes from World War I is what John the Revelator saw in his vision, right? Verse 4, Salakia. And it was commanded them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth, neither any green thing, neither any tree. Now, the grass of the earth and the green thing and any tree, that's talking about men, all right? But only those men which have not the seal of the Most High in their foreheads, right? So that's talking about Israelites right there back in that time. The Most High did not want the men that would carry on the lineage of the elect and of Israelites, to have sons and things of that, and to have sons to carry on the lineage of the elect. He didn't want them to be killed, right? Verse 5. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months, and their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when he striketh a man. Right? And killing them, it meant not to exterminate them, not to exterminate them off the earth. Okay, and that 5 months represents 5 years, which is from 1914 to 1919, right? And that's going into the Second World War, which is in verse 6. And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. Right? Because if you go back to like World War II movies and things like that, you'll see a lot of dudes was losing limbs, right? Or they had to get limbs cut off, right? And they didn't have any anesthesias and things like that back then, man. So what they would do is they would give dudes like strong liquor, as using that as a numbing agent, right? That's what they would do. They didn't have any medications like that. You know what I'm saying? They would put like a piece of rubber in their mouth to bite down on. You know what I mean? To kind of, so they can take the pain, man. To kind of deal with the pain, right? So it says, in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them, right? A lot of them dudes wanted to die, man, but, they wasn't dying, man. They had to go through what they was going through, getting their limbs cut off. There's various movies that show, men getting their limbs cut off and they screaming and, you know what I'm saying? Brutal stuff, man. But war is brutal. And the shapes of the locusts were were like unto horses prepared unto battle, and on their heads were as it were crowns like gold, and their faces were as the faces of men. Okay, so this is going into of course, like I told you before, the locusts are like, the iron birds, man, the warplanes, right? The crowns of gold were the German helmets, man. Okay? Now I'm gonna get into that after verse 8. And they had hair as the hair of women, and their teeth were as the teeth of lions, right? Uh-oh. I'm gonna get to that. Alright, so let me go here real quick. Let me see if I can pull it up. Right? So look. These are German helmets right here, man. You see the gold helmet and the silver helmet right here, right? And this is what John was seeing in his vision, right? And hold on, Salakia. And this is also what he's seeing. This is a German helmet right here with the net around it that looked like the hair of a woman. Because John, that's what he saw, man. He didn't know how to explain it. You know what I mean? He could explain it the best he could, man. And this is talking about the German soldiers, man. Right? Salakia. Oh man. Okay. And the teeth were as the teeth of lions, man. That's just basically talking about the bullets from the planes, right? And they had breastplates as it were breastplates of iron. And the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots of many horses running a battle. Okay? So the breastplates of iron were the warplanes. Okay? And those were the warplanes, and the sound of their wings was as the sound of chariots, as many horses run into the battle, right? Because that's loud, man. If you hear a lot of horses running at one time, that makes a lot of noise. And back then, them planes were made without mufflers, okay? And the muffler system is what are in cars today. That's why a lot of cars don't make that much noise, okay? But back then, the planes didn't have muffler systems. So the planes were super loud, man. Right? Verse 10. And they had tails like unto scorpions, and they were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men 5 months. And like I went into earlier, 5 months is 5 years, right? Now, the stings in their tails, that's talking about them planes, because back then the planes, they had gunners in the tail of the plane, right? I'm gonna show it right now. Okay, so that's what that's talking about. See, these is World War II fighter planes, man, right? And these are the tail of the plane right here, man. You see the guns and the tail of the plane, right? So that's the scorpion, the stings in their tails that verse 10 is speaking about right here, man. All right. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue, his name is Apollyon, right? So Abaddon basically means destroyer, right? And so does Apollyon. Apollyon means destroyer, right? So the king that is spoken of is Kaiser Wilhelm II, right? And he was basically a German emperor. Now Kaiser in German means Caesar, right? But he ruled from 1888 to 1918, man. right? And he's also yeah, Kaiser Wilhelm II. He's also connected to the royal family of England, man. Every time I'm doing a lesson, man. Get up out of here. And what is this? Salakia. Get the hell out. What is that? Okay. And one woe is past, and behold, there come two more woes hereafter. Yeah, every time I'm doing a lesson. Every time. Right? So that one woe is the First World War, and the two woes that come hereafter, that's World War II and World War III. Right? And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before the Most High, saying to the sixth angel which had trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. Right? The four angels is speaking of the four archangels, and river Euphrates is the Middle East, man. Right? So this is about to go into that third woe. Okay? Because we just got finished talking about the second woe, Second World War, right? All right. So verse 15, and the four angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour, and a day and a month, and a year, for to slay the third part of man. Right? And that's to slay the third part of man is talking about Esau, man. Okay? In verse 16, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000. And I heard the number of them. Okay, and that number that equals out to 200 million. Okay? That equals out to 200 million, man. And this army that John saw was all the missiles, man. Right? And it's about to get into it right now. That army is the missiles. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire and jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. Right? So them heads, that's talking about them warheads, them nuclear warheads, man, and the missiles. Okay? Verse 18. By these three was the third part of men killed by the fire, and by the smoke, and by the brimstone, which issued out of their mouths, man. Okay? Hold on. Salakia. By these three was the third part of men killed by fire, and by smoke, and by the brimstone, which was issued out of their mouths. Right? For their power is in their mouth and in their tails. Okay, so the mouth is the warheads, the multiple warheads that's in the top of the missile. Okay, and it said, and in their tails, the tails is like the the delivery system, if you will, that's in the ICBM missile, man. That is basically navigating it to where it's supposed to, how it reaches its destination. Okay? For their power is in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails were like unto serpents, and had heads, and with them they do hurt, man, which mean they do kill, man. It's talking about those missiles, man. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils, and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. Right? So that's basically talking about that's talking about the rest of the men, Esau, the rest of the Idumeans that weren't killed, man. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't repent, and it's talking about how they're not going to repent of their works, man, of their own hands. They devil worshipers, they idol worshipers, you know what I'm saying? And they're not going to repent from any of that, man. Verse 21, neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. Okay? So they're not going to repent of any of that, regardless, to what's happening, man. And when all these things go down, they're going to be running to their churches and their synagogues and all that. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be running there for for their own salvation. You know what I mean? For safety, rather. They're going to be running to them places for safety, man. Okay? And that's when we're going to come down. We're going to mess them up good, man. Okay? And the ones that don't fall in line, okay? Because it's going to be on some get down to lay down. The ones that don't fall in line are going to be killed, man. And the others are going to be put into captivity, man. Hardcore bondage. Okay? And then, 1,000 years of hardcore bondage. And then we're going to Obadiah 18 they ass, man. Call hello Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. Right? So hopefully, I try to go through this fast. And Lord willing, this is edifying, man. It's one of my favorite chapters. How long did I go? 16 minutes. Damn, I broke that down. 16 minutes? Yeah. So Lord willing, this was edifying, man. Okay, this is Brother Ariah. Shalom.